The following story is also available as a read-only version. Check the link in the description if you're interested. This short story is going to be pretty disgusting, so you've been warned. If you think that in the year 2256 the international high-end culinary scene has seen all the major technical breakthroughs it ever will, you would not be alone. Until a few months ago, I would have been right there with you. At this point, with genetically engineered ingredients, meat printed down to the molecule, and precision laser ovens, what truly new, completely innovative breakthrough could there possibly be left? But then a friend introduced me to Carlos Bronsmith of the world-famous Seventh Season restaurant in Athens. Pioneer of a cooking technique that has chefs around the world painting with a whole new set of brushes. I have to admit, I was more than a little disgusted when he pitched me the idea, but when I received my meal, it looked like neither of the things I expected to see. My jalapeno zucchini dolma didn't look like a stuffed vegetable, but it also didn't look like, well, a literal pile of shit. Instead, it was more like a sausage, and one shaped by a true master at that. It took away some of my apprehension when taking the first bite, as did the pink peppercorn and black currant marmalade, but it was still a challenge of willpower. I didn't know what I expected, but what I got was an explosion of sour, tangy, and a kind of umami-like sweetness that I had never tasted before in my life. None of the flavors I had expected were in there. Bronsmith's process had completely transformed the original dish and turned it into something new, something completely unique. Maybe it was my low expectations, but I'll be damned if Carlos Bronsmith's Faecalised dolma weren't one of the best meals I've ever had. The chef brought me back into the kitchen and presented his magical apparatus. The artificial human digestive tract is completely transparent, so the cooks can monitor every stage of the faecalisation process. It's such a complex procedure. It starts with saliva in the mouth. That already makes a huge difference later down the line, and it's one of the many variables we can play with, Chef Bronsmith explained. Everything from the shape of the intestinal walls to the adaptive anus, which can do a lot more than a regular human anus can, is designed with the utmost precision. The most important part is the bacterial flora, the microbiome of the faecalizer. It is closely monitored with a set of machines that would make many scientists blush. Color, flavor, smell, texture, everything is altered with the kind of bacteria we put in there, and how many there are in relation to each other. We are working on techniques to ensure that certain types of bacteria only inhabit certain parts of the intestinal tract, and if you add genetically engineered organisms to the mix, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Chef Bronsmith's eyes glow when he talks about his machine, but the idea of it being a culinary innovation does not sit well with him. Fermentation and similar processes are among the oldest cooking techniques our species has used. Even animals in the wild use rot and decay to improve their meals. Why do you think dogs bury their bones? We've been using microorganisms to make cheese, beer, vinegar, and 1,000 other things for millennia. Not even the idea of using the intestinal tract to improve the quality of food is new. Civet coffee has been produced in Indonesia since the 18th century. Panda dung tea has been around even longer than that. It's a completely natural process, a logical next step in the exploration of food, which is not to say we keep it all natural. Wouldn't want any E. coli in my steak, eh? I said in jest. Exactly, Chef Bronsmith responded, dead serious. The faecalizer has since found its way into the laboratories of many high-end restaurants, where chefs and food scientists around the world have been working to unfold its full potential. Chef Edna Payan in her restaurant Dream Lounge, the peak of fine dining in Auckland and really all of New Zealand, has been experimenting with various animal tracts. The only one actually used in a restaurant is that of a cow, and it's decorated in Hindu holy symbols. It is forbidden to eat cows in India, and drinking their poop is unsanitary at best. But here we can feed it holy foods, make sure nothing bad comes out the other end, and add some spices in a ritualistic smoothie drinking ceremony. Shauna Danzig, in her rural Iowa restaurant Rust, is much more willing to commit sacrilege with bovine intestines. There is just some so obscene and delicious about passing cow meat, real cow meat from living animals, which I know a lot of people have their issues with, through another cow with milk and grass, and making a steak out of that. In Nairobi, world-renowned culinary artist Kevin Ubele has made Faecalisation his new passion project. Like with everything, he has been breaking it down into its base components, and is reinterpreting them to find and document as much about this new process as he can. He's working with chemists and microbiologists to abandon the intestinal model altogether, and not use artificial bowels to cook. It is really only about the microbial processes. Those are what makes things happen on a molecular level. There is no need for a long tube of meat, though we have been trying out some entirely fictitious digestive systems with surprising results. Right now, my primary aim is to devise techniques that will allow for aging and a less aggressive, long-form digestive process. The best cheese is old cheese, and I believe the same could be true about all fecalized foods. Not everyone is as taken by this new trend, however. Many chefs, like my personal friend Adrian Hu, find it repulsive. Are we really so out of ideas that we need to play around with shit now? I don't care what you do in your bedroom, this is Bangkok. Nothing is off the menu here. But if you ask for something fecalized in one of my restaurants, I'll have you thrown out. It is unclear what impact fecalization will have as a culinary process once it finds its way out of the world of high-end cuisine, if it ever does. But no matter if it's a normal practice a century from now, or people look at it as one of those failed advances of the avant-garde of the past, I, for one, am glad I tried it when I had the chance. If you liked this story and would like to hear more, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. A new short story is uploaded every Wednesday, and there will occasionally be another one in between if I find the time. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day.